It's the Sportsler's premiere podcast, A Quarter in a Dream. The podcast for the culture, the podcast for the dreamers. And today, we got a special guest. Indeed we do, indeed we do. Hey, we got Recovery Vybz in the building, coming through to just kick it, talk about a new podcast she got coming out. So, without further ado, what's up? What's up?
How y'all doing? Thank you for having me. You know, I got a quarter in a dream, so I'm happy to be here. Spread some love and light.
That's it. That's all we ask for. Good vibes only. Yes. So let me tell you, I met this beautiful young lady yesterday. I was at a meeting and she walked in and I was like, hey, yo, who is Faith Evans? She needs a photo shoot like right now. So we were trying to find our photographer, but he was out of the building. He was out on official business. But yeah, so we got to talking. I heard her speak. I needed to hear that for the day. And yeah, like I fell in love with her vibe, bro. Her vibe is crazy. So yeah, tell me a little bit about the podcast, please.
So the name is Recovery Rewritten. I'm the founder of it, and it's a podcast where we speak on our lived experiences, whether that be the child welfare system, substance use disorder, mental health. Basically, if you've lived through it, we will talk about it. We're trying to ask those difficult questions so people no longer feel that they have to suffer in silence. You know, just creating a safe space, a safe platform for people to give their stories, share their stories and their testimonials to help the next person up.
Okay. Yeah. That sounds like a lit plan, man, because yeah, we got a lot of lived experience just between us two sitting in these seats, man. So, what kind of things you like to do? Like, you know, what's a typical day like for you?
Typical day for me. Well, no day is typical, no day is the same, but I do have a morning routine which I try to stick to. So for me, I'm an early bird, early to bed, early to rise, you know.
That's right.
I wake up about 4 a.m. I like to watch the sunrise. I like to have a cup of tea. I do my and set my intentions for the day, say my gratitude, say my daily affirmations, my positive affirmations, you know, take care of my hygiene. Then I get me a little a piece of fruit yogurt I eat like in the morning, you know, and then off to my recovery, catch a meeting or handle my business, whatever it is for the day. But that's usually how I started.
All right, cool. Ain't no problem with that. So, do you meditate at all? Because I meditate like a motherfucker, bro.
I meditate constantly. Like, you know, I'm big into meditation, big into prayer. You know, me and my higher power is very connected.
All right, cool. That's what it's about, having that conscious contact, right? Mm-hmm. What do I want to know? All right, so I was hearing that you had started something podcast-esque, and you was actually running up the numbers, were you not?
Yeah. So it was actually on the Everyday Miracles Facebook page, because my pathway is all recovery, you know, and I was a leap at my recovery center, which is the Learn, Earn, and Progress program.
Shouts out to the leaps.
Yeah. So I was doing that for a little bit, and the idea of a podcast came to me. So it was voted in, and we did 3 1-hour podcast episodes on Everyday Miracles Facebook page, and every episode was over 500 plus views. So, you know, the message was definitely getting out there.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to bringing that back.
All right, that's lit. Let me ask you a question. You going to the Patty's Day Parade tomorrow?
I actually am. You know, I made a little poster. I'm gonna go show some love.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. So, are you musically inclined? Like, how are you when it comes to the culture?
I do dabble in freestyling, but I ain't gonna lie. I'm more of a spoken word. I'm more of a poet. I've had a couple of poems published. I'm working on my next piece of writing getting published. So I do musically. I love music and I do like writing, but if it were to be about something, I think I'm better with the poetry. But I do enjoy, you know, freestyling. That is definitely an outlet for me.
Word. So to all the listeners out there that may be, you know, to all our listeners out there that may be interested in like trying to get some work published, maybe a book, maybe a poem, like, do you have any exclusive tip on how they can go about doing so?
Well, I can only share my lived experience and how I
Right.
went about it.
Okay.
And so I can do that. So obviously, our location is Worcester, so we're in Central Mass. Um, I went through the Clementi programs, the courses for humanities in Worcester. Very, very good. The teachers are amazing. They're professors from Assumption and Clark. Um, they're very good teachers. You know, I actually ended up getting, they helped me to get a laptop. Um, so that was good. You know, I was working on my story, but the story that I chose, I was actually still living it. And so it was very difficult to write about. So I didn't end up getting it done in time to get published, which is why I went with poetry. So I ended up getting a couple of poems published. So yeah, if you're interested, and they will help you. And they're actually taking applications for the summer storytelling course, which is coming up, which is how I got published last year. So if you're interested, definitely, you know, connect with the podcast and, you know, come down and share your quarter in a dream.
That's it. That's it. All right. Yeah. I was actually thinking about going to enroll in the Clemente program. Shouts out to Teresa. Shouts out to Liga, because they had told me about it, because I'm actually in the process of writing a book now. Like,
Okay.
yeah. So, yeah, I'm probably not. Yeah, I wanted to tell you what it's about, but we could probably do that off
Right,
air.
right.
Yeah. But it's going to be a banger, y'all. I promise you that. But
Definitely.
shouts out the Clemente program.
Yes.
So, question: who do you listen to in the music industry today? Like, what do you listen to today?
I'm not gonna lie. I keep it old school. You know, I'm a '90s baby. But there are a few artists that I do listen to. When I'm my daily artists that I listen to every day, they go by Iniko, Iniko.
Okay.
I absolutely love their music. Definitely very inspirational. I listen to it every morning. I also am big into No Cap. He's one of my favorite artists.
Okay. No cap. No cap.
Yeah, yeah, you know. Um, I listen to a little bit of Young Boy, but I try not to, you know,
Yeah,
get in trouble.
yeah, right. He make a nigga feel like he want to go run down on some shit, go slide, right? He make a nigga feel like he gotta go slide. So yeah, man, that's cool. That's cool.
But I definitely love Erica Badu. You know, she has my daughter's birthday. Shout out to the Pisces, February 26th.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm an old school music. I like the feel good music, make you dance music, you know, clean the house, cook some good soul food music.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Speaking of soul food, like, let me know what you cooking, cause like I'm a soul food connoisseur, so you're gonna have to definitely like blessing and go to play, cuz.
Oh, you already know. If y'all in the area and you want to come down to the recovery center, I definitely throw down. You know, I definitely cook. There's really nothing that I haven't tried to cook that I haven't been able to do. You know, seafood, pastas, steaks, shrimps, like chicken on the grill in the kitchen. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
eat, I throw down.
That's what's up. So I'm looking forward to that, cause like, all right, so I was browsing today's headlines, right? And eBay just laid off 1,000 workers. And I'm pretty sure it has something to do with AI, right? Like, you know, artificial intelligence is taking over many jobs, right? But I just recently got Serve Safe, Feast, and Allergen Awareness certified, right? Because like my thing is my main job experience, I guess I can say, is customer service. So like customer relations coordinator, I can manage a call center. Like I have that kind of experience, right?
Okay.
That background, right? But soon that's going to be obsolete with AI taking over, right? Soon you're going to be talking to a computer that sounds like we sound right now, and you're not even going to be able to know the difference that it's a computer from a real person. So I had to go get trained, right? Because like I don't see AI flipping steaks, just saying, right? And it's a Corey friendly job background. So I said that to say this. Central Massachusetts, any listeners in Central Massachusetts, head down to the Worcester County Sheriff's Department. They have a culinary course where they're going to get you trained and certified with your Serve Safe, your Feast, and your allergen awareness certificates. All right. It's a 4-week course. All right. It's intensive. You do have to, you're going to have to sacrifice, 4 weeks. But at the end of that course, you're going to get $500. And then if you can give them proof that you've worked in the field for 30 days. That's another $500. So they want you to come and get this work. Go cook up, and that's gonna get you $1,000. All right, Central Massachusetts. Come on, y'all gotta get live. All right, go down to the Worcester County Sheriff's Office. Tell them Siri I am 5G sent you, and y'all trying to get this pay. All right, y'all trying to cook the play. Yo. So anyway, are you into sports at all?
I've never played sports for a team. Because back in the day I had anger issues and whatnot. But I have a very, very competitive spirit. I'm very active. I do like to play sports. I just I don't like to follow the rules. Is the only problem.
Right. No, that's not a problem. That's sometimes what can I say about following the rules, right? Because I ain't never really followed the rules, but that's my damn problem, right, Auntie Cheryl? That's my problem, is I ain't never listen, right? Yeah, so, it's funny because, I myself am not a big sports person, right? So, I come from a big basketball family, but I chose to play baseball for some dumbass reason. Yeah, it was pretty stupid. And I wasn't really that good. Pretty good at softball because the ball comes at you pretty slow. But other than that, yeah, I'm not the man. But listen, I know how to dress like I could play some sports. Like if I come to the field, you're gonna be like, "Oh, this nigga's nice," until you see me play. Like when I step on the court, they're like, "Oh, dog, this nigga is Allen Iverson. Like here's Kobe reincarnated. Like look at his gear, he's nice." And then I'm missing layups, like easy layups. Like I'm that guy. So.
I always say looks can be deceiving.
Yes, very deceiving. Very deceiving. Yes, actually, that was one of the things that piqued my interest with you. Because, you keep it 110% authentically raw, right? Like there's no gray area with you. It's black and white. Everything ain't what it seemed. And like, I think at that point I fell in love with your personality. Like it was crazy for me, right? Because, yeah. You would never know. Like, you can tell you've been through some stuff, but like, after I heard you talk and then I looked into your eyes, like, now I see what it is. Now I see what it is. And, shouts out to you for still walking through the mud, bro. And like wiping your sleeves off, bro. Shouts out to all the strong women out there, bro. For real. Because a lot of people don't know what it takes to come from the places we've come from. Like we have literally seen the devil. So we know God is real, So, what else has been on your mind lately? What's going on in the headlines you want to talk about?
And honestly, like I don't really know, but now that I have the space and opportunity, I just want to give my condolences to that young woman and her daughter that I don't know if I think I heard that they passed away this week.
Yeah, the ones that were ambushed in the car, correct?
Yes.
Oh my God, what's this getting so fucking terrible, bro?
Yeah, I couldn't read the story, because the way my emotions is set up,
Right.
It would put me on a spiral. But I just wanted to say my condolences to the family. My goodness.
Yeah. So yeah, let's focus in on this Worcester violence that's been erupting lately. It just seems like every year it's just getting worse and worse, man. More innocent people are dying, and less targets are, I guess, accomplishing what they need to be doing, right? So these kids are going out and they're getting these guns and they're targeting specific individuals, but totally missing the mark and killing, innocent bystanders. And, we've got to do better as a community.
Definitely.
There's no reason why these two young women, these two young ladies, or, a mother and a daughter there's no reason why their family should be putting them to rest prematurely. So we've got to do better as a community, and it's that simple. I don't know if you've had a chance to follow the podcast, but my man Thao from Fam over at TV Network and 10 Ton Quarantino, they put me onto this story. Have you heard of Mahogany Jackson?
I have not.
Okay, so the story goes, this 20-year-old woman from Birmingham, Alabama, she's the mother of a toddler. She goes to one of her friends' houses, and I'm not sure if she posted something on social media about them or she ended up fucking one of the girls' baby daddies, but she goes to this friend's house. A melee ensues where she's now, getting beat up. They're recording it, and I guess in the recording she's saying, "Okay, cool, y'all won, it's over." These assholes took it a step further. They basically kidnapped her and tortured her the entire night. Shouts out to Mahogany. She was able to send a text to her mother and her sister from her iPhone, right? So she solved her own murder in essence, right? So she sent a text to her mom and her sister saying, "Listen, I've been kidnapped. Don't call the phone back. Call the police." So they did that. All night they looked for Mahogany. Not entirely sure how they couldn't ping the phone. Oh, because it does take time for them to get the proper warrants to get the company to ping the phones, right? So basically they recorded all of this nonsense. And if you can believe it, 3 or 4 young women were involved in this. It was 8 individuals.
Women?
3 were women. Yes. Crazy, right? And then they all recorded it. They recorded forcing her to give fellatio at gunpoint, also ordering her to do it right. Like a bunch of sick, disgusting things that I would never think a human. Like I don't even think Jeffrey Dahmer thought to do something like this to a person. Like I'm pretty sure he was a sick individual, do not get me wrong. But like this is beyond sick. Like the I'm just glad that Mahogany's no longer suffering. But anyway, the last video, the news, and this information I got from my own investigating sources, was that they told her, "Okay, we want the password to your phone." They beat her, she wouldn't give it up. And at this point, they've already taken her sanity. They've already taken, they hurt integrity, right? They spat on her, all types of craziness. And they say, "You know what? Don't worry, just let us into the phone. We're gonna let you live," right? So I'm pretty sure at that point she's, and she's in motherhood mode. Anything she can do to get back to her child, right? Because her child's gonna need it. They killed the young lady anyway, and she solved her own death by they were able to finally ping it, and they found her on a 1700 block somewhere in Birmingham. It was crazy. So yeah,
my condolences to her family.
Yeah. And don't you know Birmingham has capital punishment. So my question after saying all of that was, what do you feel about capital punishment?
That's the death penalty.
Correct.
See, I feel like that's a loaded question.
Okay.
And I'm saying that in my opinion.
Yeah. We're tracking now.
If you commit murder, it's like, well, all right. So they say like an eye for an eye will leave the whole world blind.
Right.
So I say it's a loaded question because I do believe in forgiveness. I do believe in what do they call that? Rehabilitation. I do believe in these things. I do believe that people are not their mistakes. Absolutely. However, with that being said, if you continue to repeat the same mistake, that is the definition of insanity, doing the same thing, expecting a different outcome. So if you've done something and been reprimanded and you get released and continue to do the same mistake, in that case, I do believe in the death penalty. And was it corporal punishment?
Yeah. What is corporal punishment? Let me look that up real quick.
Okay, yeah, I do believe in it, in the death penalty, like on to that level. But also it's like, was it a fair trial? Was all the evidence presented? Where is the system that's investigating it corrupt? Like these are all factors that come to play when you're talking about taking a person's life.
Right. So corporal punishment is described as being physical punishment such as caning or flogging. Okay. Punishment under the law that includes. All right. So how about this? Right. Maybe those kids shouldn't get the death penalty, but they should definitely be caned. They should definitely be caned. They should be caned good and proper for the shit that they pulled. Because I mean, and I don't want to sound like I'm joking way too much here, because this is very, very serious. And this is where we start to see the very deep rooted trauma that our community suffers from, right? Because like no normal person would want to go this hard on someone for any reason. You don't have a normal way of letting go of your anger, right? So one is, and D, people like you have taught me this, right? Anger is a secondary emotion, right? So I'm angry either because I feel embarrassed, right? I'm sad, right? Like there's a whole list of things that I could be feeling, but anger is not a primary, right? Okay, so what I'm seeing here, right, is that one, these kids don't understand that anger is not a primary emotion, right? So they don't understand that acting out on that anger is only, you're misdirecting your aggression, right? But again, them not knowing, in my opinion, how to deal with that anger stems from, right? Because DNA is like a computer chip. It downloads all of this information, right? And a lot of us suffer from the trauma, right? That 8 generations of trauma since slavery, where we want to kill somebody for that pain that was inflicted on us. But we have to do better as a community, bro. Like, my God, this will go down a big rabbit hole, but basically we need to stop killing people we need to stop killing each other, period. But especially those who look like us, right? Like,
in my opinion, if you think about like the media, the music, it's all a form of mind control.
Oh, sure.
And it's been working through the generations, because not only is it black on black violence, but it is white on black violence. It is brown on black violence. So the violence is just escalated to an all-time high, to the point where as a mother, it's scary if you have children. Like, are you gonna walk them to school and not get hit by random gunshots? You know what I mean? Like, are they gonna be there? Like, it is very scary in this world to be a parent, but also like we do, as Black, brown, and indigenous people, have a lot of generational trauma. And if you don't understand that you're experiencing generational trauma, you don't know how to acquire the knowledge to break these generational curses, or what to do to reverse what you've been, or your family and your bloodline has been experiencing.
Right.
Which is part of the problem, and they say these things, and you've heard it when you were younger. Like, if you want to keep something from a person, put it in a book. And this is true. Like, all the knowledge that you need to for success and to further your life and to let all these the trauma go is in a book. It's in the books. And so I'm an avid reader. I love to read. I leisure read. I'm in school. I read my books for school. But that's how, in my recovery process, it's been about 2 years now. I've learned to read. I've learned to sit with self. I've learned to be calm. I've learned that anger is a secondary emotion. I've learned that my anger will bring me out of my character, and it has. I've faced legal consequences because I've gotten so angry, and not to but the hood me came out, and I was like, bitch, what? Like, you know who I am?
Run down on a bitch.
Yeah. So and I have to practice, staying in my character. I have to practice. That's why I do my meditation. That's why I do my daily affirmations, to remember who I am, to say, okay, yes, I'm not my mistakes. Yes, my family has been through X, Y, and Z for generations. And you would think that that's the pattern. But something that I tell myself is, history will not repeat itself, and neither will her story.
Oh, that was deep. That was deep. Yo, the vibes is real.
You already know.
Vibes is real right now, cuz.
You already know.
Yes, indeed. All right. So, listen. That was deep. Y'all go replay that segment back. That was deep.
Okay? I'm gonna repeat it one more time for those of y'all in the back. So I've been practicing staying in my character, and something that I've learned as part of my daily affirmations. I say to myself, history will not repeat, and neither will her story.
That's it.
And when I say her story, I'm referring to myself and my daughters, so apply it to where it fits. If it don't apply, let it fly,
That's it. You know what my one of my favorite sayings is game applied equals elevation. And I think she just elevated y'all. Real talk. All right. So, when it comes to stuff like that, I like that, right? Because like me, unfortunately, I've been a victim or perpetrator of perpetuating the same generational curse that my family put on me, right? The same behaviors. Making these excuses for why I'm not in my children's lives sometime. The funny thing is I'll make some wild, dumbass excuse, right? Like, I teach my son something with my presence or without my presence. Like, that's a dumb ass thing to say, but it sounds good.
In the moment.
Right. It sounds good, but nothing is good about teaching your kid trauma.
Yes.
Right. So now I'm trying to get into my 16-year-old's life and undo a lot of this trauma that I caused, right? Because if you don't know what you don't know, right? You know the saying, if you knew better, you do better, right?
Exactly.
So I'm starting to know better because I'm actually starting to take suggestions. I'm starting to listen to, my predecessors and people that have actually done this shit so I don't have to, right? Because my favorite line used to be, bitch, I'm a grown ass man. I'm such a little boy.
the chronological age and actually applying things that you've learned and what you went through and using your lived experience and applying it are two different things. Because I was the same thing. I used to tell people, like, I'm a grown woman, you gonna talk to me nice or don't talk to me twice. Like, that was my catchphrase.
Yeah.
And but I was acting very immature, very little girlish. I was not carrying myself, conducting myself like a grown woman. So I had to realize that, like, it wasn't that people weren't giving me grown woman respect. I wasn't conducting myself to command grown women respect.
Well, you dropping, listen, you game applied equals elevation. You definitely applying elevation right now. I can't even front.
Yeah.
Yes, you are. Yes. Yeah. I told you, man, this is going to be the studio's getting live. We hear it in the background. Yeah.
Everybody's turned up for recovery,
Everybody's turned up. Word. But yeah, like I was saying, man, my son got himself into a little, some issues or whatever.
Jam, a little pickle.
Yeah, he got himself into a little pickle. But it ain't nothing he can't come back from. My son's, the one thing about my son is he's definitely resilient. And he's got a wonderful, he's got a business mentality for real, even at 16 years old. So, like me, I can't wait to see what he has in the future on the horizon for him. But again, I'm still trying to do some of this trauma that I've inflicted. But shouts out to my son. You know who you are. I love you dearly. Last night.
Let me just add that trauma makes soldiers.
That's it. All right, so to change gears real quick, I want to give a shout out to my daughter. So she got accepted into Worcester Tech last night.
Oh, congratulations!
Yes. That was for both of the kids. All right, so so she got accepted into Worcester Tech and she had to write an essay, right, for a $10,000 scholarship. And can I just tell you, like, she blew me away. Yo, D, she blew me away. It almost brought tears to my eyes, bro. How well thought, how well written and the language that she used, right? The vernacular that was involved in this said essay was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I was super happy, right? And her birthday's coming up. So I let her know. I'm saying, yo, listen.
Right. She about to get spoiled.
Yo, I'm telling you, we about to burn them all up, bro.
Off top.
Yo, it was crazy. But I'm hoping that she wins that $10,000 scholarship. If anybody that's sitting on faculty for Worcester Tech and you're a listener, come on. Throw her name in the pot a couple extra times. So, I'm about to go grab some coffee. So I'm going to get into a little jam here. I'm going to put on some music for the listeners so we can go grab something to drink. And let's see what we listening to.
Grab your drinks, your snacks, and your little dog too. We'll be right back.
Hey, live with you. Okay, so it's gonna take us a second to put on some tunes. So how about we do? Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Well, in the meantime, to fill the dead air, let me just tell you, like, when they told me, yo, get her on the show, yeah, I'm glad I did that.
Yes. Thank you for the invitation. You know, I'm glad to be here. Looking forward to future collaborations.
Yo, it's an open invitation. We might have to work on something where we're just like, you're the co-host, period. It's like, you know, I feel like we got this little, we're able to conversate.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters. We're able to conversate, you know.
I believe that conversation is the currency of the gods.
Hey, game applied equals elevation. All right, so we're going to put on Martian by D Baby, and we'll be right back.
I've been mixing codeine with the Percocets, I'm higher than a Martian. I don't got no love for these niggas out my circle, come on. Double up my cup and it's gonna be a conversation as you touch down. 200 racks ballin', ain't no one busy out 200 pounds. We having some pressures on these guys. You don't hear these pop making no sound. You know, competition with these niggas. I'm the hottest in the fucking town. I can't keep my cool nigga. It's way too hot. I'm gonna be that thing. Extortion by the mile. Everything get confiscated in our compound. When you touch down, they go pussy to it head, knock off his body cap. They got right in front of your mama house, bitch. We went out there. These shell catchers and these choppers, they got shoulder straps. Every fucking thing I got to have my dogs back and bought me a new strap straight from Apple. This is a mini nigga. 5% the windows on this car, bitch. I fucking this in my let my shower dry this Cadillac 3 days into this week. And I just ran me up about 40 racks. That's the quickest way to get your ass wet. Mom said when she sucked the bitch, she like her ass man. Fuck on drugs, hit her up that pack. Bitch have flash, but got kids inside. Okay, well outside, that's where we catch them. We having some pressures on these locks. You don't hear this pop making no sound. It ain't no competition with these niggas. I'm not hottest in the fucking town. Try to text out to my people whom I love the most. Learned from mistakes a couple times, so now I keep them close. Junkie more by 2 more perks, and I might overdose. Tell myself, look how far we came, he said, here's a toast. Walk till there's blood under my feet, I caught in red bottoms. They killed my cousin with his dog, I heard they head shot him. They always told me that you can't be friends with everybody. I understand, I really do, but we all need love. It's 40 million with my dogs, when we all link up. I know Shawty gon' ride or die, we all need one. That ain't my partner, that's my brother now, we all need something. Can't do a show without these firearms, we all need guns. If I'm correct, it's 30,000 on my right arm. I'm working hard. I'm in the studio all night long, yeah. I put my codeine in my coffee cup, no styrofoam. Forever praying to this microphone. We all need love. Sit with that diamond so I'm flat, like all white door. My heart been hurt for like on OJ with the all black glove. My struggles, dog. I can't even walk outside. I need a little sun. These hoes ain't trying to fall in love right now. They trying to have fun. Back then I had to go to school right in the same year. We lost some brothers and his daughter in the same year. We kept it going, ain't look back. It was too hard to get here. I look for men and disappear on me. We all need love. I don't need no drugs, baby. I need love. I don't need no drugs, baby. I need love. Don't need no drugs, baby. I need love. And I lay my head down. If I call you any time of days, you gon' find through. Said I pull up on you soon as I get back in town. Explain that purse with all of me inside, and I have me there. You gotta listen to your heart. When it's calling for you, gotta listen to your heart. Talk the hammer back, aim for the star. Don't matter long as you know who you are. As you know who you are.
All right, we are back. That was a little bit of D Baby. And the last one you just heard was Listen to Your Heart. Alrighty, so we back in the studio. We got Recovery Vybz back with us.
You know.
All right. So, so have you heard anything about this Nas and Jay-Z? They're back in competition, but on some grown man BI?
Oh, we about to have some mixtapes coming through?
Nah, so listen to this, right? It's not even music. So Nas is trying to team up with a resort conglomerate to bring a casino and a resort to Jamaica Queens, and Hove is trying to do the same thing with a different conglomerate to bring the same thing to Manhattan, right? So the Times Square. So how do you feel about that? Because in my opinion, right? Yes, it'll bring jobs, but do the pros outweigh the cons, right?
Okay, so my first question would be, what do you see as a potential con?
So the drugs, the prostitution, and maybe the fact that, right, and we're coming from this addiction standpoint right now, right? Mm-hmm. Some people discovering that they might not be an addict to a drug, but they may be an addict to the feeling of gambling, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to give my standpoint on recovery.
Yeah.
We all have free choice, yes. Meaning as human beings, we can choose to do the right thing or choose to do the wrong thing. Now, we all inherently know what is right and wrong. So that's how I feel about that. I do support Black-owned business, and I believe that life is an ism. Okay.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is drugs been here since the beginning of time. They're going to continue to be here. Prostitution was the first profession. It's still going to be here.
It is.
And gambling, in moderation, it's not, ain't no wrong with having a little fun, making a little money. But if you're spending more money than you're bringing in, that's where it becomes a problem. So that's why I say moderation. Anything can become a problem, not in moderation. Food, being intimate, like anything. So it's their life is life can form addictions if you do not have boundaries and use things in moderation.
Well stated.
I think that it could be a good thing because I would like to see the Black community making investments in the world, but also back into themselves and showing the next generation. Because Black Wall Street, never. We need to bring back our Black Wall Street because we've had it. Businesses, we had everything Black owned in our community.
Yep. The whole economy. Y'all go Google what Black Wall Street was down there in Oklahoma.
Do your research.
Yeah. It's funny, right? Because the first time I heard Black Wall Street, right, I associated that with the game and the blood set from off the West Coast, right? And I'm a knowledge whore. I'm a self-proclaimed knowledge whore. So I started to look into this Black Wall Street thing, right, when I was going through my little gang phase. And the information that I stumbled upon was crazy. I wondered why they never taught this in school, right? So Black Wall Street was in Oklahoma. These guys had basically the equivalent of a city in blocks where it was just Black-owned businesses, Black-owned speakeasies, Black-owned banks, barbers, all types of
anything you would need in the community.
Delis, farmers, anything you would need. Movie theaters, okay? And it was bombed out by the KKK. So yeah, Black Wall Street was crazy. So when we're talking about Nas and Jay-Z, yes. Because I'm pretty sure there was probably a casino in Black Wall Street, right? So yes, I agree with you. Anything done in moderation is okay. And like you said, it ism. Us humans, we have the tendency to overdo things. So is that anyone's fault in particular? No. So, I mean, we can't vilify Nas or Jay for trying to bring jobs, right, to the community, right? Because with anything, right, like you even said, with overeating, it's on us, right?
They're not going to shut down the supermarkets.
Thank you. That's exactly the point I was about to make, right? They're not going to shut down the supermarkets, right? The dope dealer is always going to be the dope dealer. The big Y is always going to be big Y, right? And big pharma is always going to be big pharma. So, like, yeah, there could be, just as many cons as pros, but as a community, right? It seems like we're going through this big awakening, right? So as long as we continue on the trajectory that we're on, right, we can make sure that those pros outweigh those cons, right? Because like right now, I feel like the young generation, right, in our community, like they're so obsessed with this social media trend, right, that like my only fear of those taking place are youngins, right? Because they still need guidance. Because, we still need guidance, right? And them taking this as an opportunity to let's say, find a better looking arena to go meet up with their boys and fuck some shit up, right? Because,
I think it's all about the mindset. If we can get into their minds and change their perspective, I think that it would be a good thing. And I would just like to, put out there, I think that it should be felon friendly, the work environment, because you should have a program where they work with reintegrating them into society, because that's something that I've noticed a lot. We're not letting our felons recover from their mistakes. They're going in and they're doing time and they're coming out and they can't get housing and they can't get a job and they're still on the streets. And then when they reoffend, you want to persecute them. Like, no, let's make an opportunity where they can help themselves get back on their feet and feel like productive members of society, So I do think it could be a useful a useful source of income and helping everyone come back together, because a lot of the fathers are in prison, leaving the mother in the home with the children. So the young men are coming up with no male guidance. And so they're the male of the house, very young, having to make decisions that are probably, oh, mom needs money. So yeah, I'm going to go hit the block.
Listen to this, right? So, like, the young bull theory. Watch that. I'm about to bust your head with a conspiracy, right? That's not even a theory.
To the white meat.
To the white meat, right? But back to what you're saying. Yes, I believe that they should make any black person, right, that opens up a business should make it Corey friendly.
Yes.
Especially in the cases of, having a resort where you're offering all of these tens of thousands of jobs, right? Because each one teach one, it takes one to know one, right? Mm-hmm. So if you have a felon, I feel like this, right? If you have a felon working the door, he's going to see the bullshit before it even, he's going to see the bullshit walking up. Listen, young fella, let me just rap with you for a second. You can come up in here, right? But we not finna have all that extra shit. Right. So yeah, because like a felon's going to see some shit that the normal citizen won't, right? The normal citizen might,
because they can see through the veil.
Right.
They've been unholy matrimony.
Yes, you understand.
Married to the game of life.
That's it. So yeah, but all right. So the young bull theory, because you did say about these young men and having their fathers locked up, right? So in and
even the young women, my father was incarcerated, and so he wasn't in my life, and I know I'm a woman, but like the impact that had on my mother affected how she mothered me, and it put her in survival mode. And so the way that she raised us in survival mode, it affected me, and I carried that trauma, and which affected my children. So it is a generational thing that something like this, it could stop, for the next generation. Right.
So this young bull theory goes like this. There was a white guy from America. He was on safari, or he might have been from the UK. Actually, I got to double check into where exactly he was from. But he went on a safari in Africa for months. And this is back when it was still legal to shoot and kill elephants for their ivory. Mm-hmm. So he started to notice a trend, right? So I'm not sure exactly what you call them, packs or their herds, but when the dominating male was killed off, right? The young male elephants were outrageous. Like, they were very abusive. They did not respect their moms. They would trample the young females. They would, you could see like the mom trying to lead them to the water. They would headbutt them, right? But when the male, the matriarch or the patriarch of that herd was there, these young elephants, which they call them young bulls, didn't act that way. Mm-hmm. So it's said that when he came back and he revealed this research to leading universities, somehow it got over to the CIA, and they instilled these mandatory sentencing guidelines in Chicago. And so it took a lot of the fathers out of the household. So they took the fathers out of the household. And then I don't know if you saw the YouTube video where one of the older ex-gangbangers from Chicago, he recounted a story of, because I always wondered how these young kids getting all this firepower in Chicago. Like, these kids is walking around with 50-shot handguns, Dracos, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, where are they getting this shit from? And he says that one day he was leaving the house and he seen a Ford parked in an alley. And it was a white guy. He was doing something in front of the car. He had glasses on. He looked around. He got in the car. He drove away. So the guy said he was really, really curious. So he walked to the alleyway and there was a crate. And the crate had a shitload of guns in it.
He just left it there.
So the guy took all the guns. He passed them out into the community. And this guy said that this happened for 6 months straight, once a month, like clockwork, on the same day that he noticed this. Yep, every day the guy would come, and he said the guy noticed that he'd be waiting. So the guns started getting better, right? And this is how they ended up with, because like, you remember Trump was about to send the goddamn National Guard into Chicago because they're outgunning police officers, right? So the young bull theory says that, yeah, they took away the fathers and they knew what the effect of taking away the fathers were going to be. The mothers had no control over these young boys, and they were gonna feel like you said, yo, I got to do something, man. I can't watch my mother self-destruct, right? Because it ain't like they took away the primary breadwinners and put the rent down. They probably put it up. So shit is crazy, bro. Shit is crazy, but information is coming full circle. We're in the age of
the information age.
We're in the information age, and shit is coming out. But how do you feel about this whole information age?
So there's good and bad.
Yes,
I like it because it's easily accessible in your phone, in the palm of your hand, if you need it, if you're out and about. But I'm old fashioned. I do like to read, and like they've done away with like dictionaries and encyclopedias because it's on your phone. All you gotta do is ask Google, ask Siri.
Right.
So I think it's good to have it, but I think it's making the kids that use it's making them soft because they don't gotta use no elbow grease, they don't gotta put no footwork, and all gotta do is speak into a microphone.
Yo, listen.
Like we used to have to read the index and figure out how to write.
Right.
Yo,
what was crazy is I was talking to my daughter, right, and I was talking to her aunt at the same time, and I'm like, hey, yo, this is about to be the era of the Chat GPT associate degrees, right? They
got a app now where the teachers, when you put it in papers, they can tell if you got it from Chat GPT. That's how serious it is. Like, even my teachers in the Clemente course, they was like, and if you use Chat GPT, they will just like, well, no. I was like,
so here's the kicker with that, right? Is because my wife, she's in school right now. Shout out to Grand Canyon University because they lit over there. Yo, I looked at a video of them playing basketball. Yo, they get lit. Okay. And it's a Christian-based college university. But anyway, so she does these AP papers and stuff. I don't know how to do them shits, right? So like when I'm doing stuff and I need to cite information, like she's my go-to.
Yeah.
But there is a loophole with using Chat GPT because yes, they do the plagiar. They have like this plagiarism system, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where like your paper is graded, and then if it's in the green, it's cool, right? But if it's in the red, that means like you basically copied and pasted.
Mm-hmm.
But if you take something that you've gotten from Chat GPT and you switch the words around,
tweak it just a little bit,
it becomes it's the craziest thing, right? It's the craziest thing in the world because, like you said, we come from this era where like every single sentence was our own word. You
want to know why? Because what I've learned with the information age, all it's creating is it's creating narrative, and it's not what the truth is.
Yes,
it's what you say it is, and it's what they can prove.
Right. Yo, that's crazy you say that. It's what they can prove because, yo, listen, I shared something on my TikTok. Yo, yeah, go follow the TikTok to A Quarter in a Dream. Yeah. But I shared something on my TikTok because the dude was like, hey, yo, listen, when people talk money, they never check the grammar. And that shit was so profound to me, right? Because, like, yo, we listen to all of these rappers that got all the heavy chains, and a lot of that shit is fake, right? So when motherfuckers, right. So when motherfuckers start talking big money, it's true. Niggas do not check the grammar on that shit, and that was one of the most profound things I've heard in a long time. Niggas is talking money, no one checks the grammar.
I've learned that people that really got money in their pocket is some of the most humble people. It be the broke mofos that be walking around with the chains and, the new releases because they're trying to portray like they got it. But like everything like lit as ankle. Like I sit right through that.
Right.
Because I was one of those people. I ain't gonna lie. I was a label brand whore. Okay. Like if it wasn't name brand, I didn't want it.
Yo, I'm telling you. So yeah, man, I was the same way. Like, yo, and it's crazy, right? To see somebody and they got like on like a $5,000 fit. But they're walking, though, right? But they're walking, right? That's wilding, bro.
But you walking though.
That should be wilding, bro. And that's how fucked up we are as a culture, bro. That but it said it in the Bible, bro. Is that in the end times, right? Good will be called evil, and evil will be called good, right? And people are literally praising these brands like if you don't have it, you're nothing, right? So. I've been going through, situations with people where like, because I got the podcast up and people see what I'm doing on social media, right? Like,
shout out to you. Keep it going.
Thank you. And you too, because
Thank
you know you right. Listen, we neck and neck with this, all right? But this ain't no race, right?
Right.
Each one.
It's collaboration, not competition.
That's it. Make sure you discern the C's. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you discern the definition on what C we're using. All right, it's collaboration, not competition. So, yes, sir. So, you see what's going on. All right, I'm on Spotify. I have this platform now where, you know, I could talk my shit, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Bow. You know what I'm saying? But people are forgetting, like, yo, bro, y'all know me in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, like, no, it's not about, like, I've heard somebody say, oh, you doing good now, huh? No, I'm not. I'm not on my girl's lease, which means I am technically homeless.
Talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
I have no job, and podcasting doesn't pay. So, you know, at the end of the day, bro, I am you and you are me, bro. There's no big eyes and there's no little U's. So, like, that really stresses me out when I hear people, because it just lets me know that social media is winning, and it's winning in a big way.
Social media is the illusion, right?
Right.
So real recognize real. So, you know, y'all see me, whatever, all dressed up, whatever. You see me looking nice, this and that, but like, real.
Very nice. Very nice.
And thank you. But like I said yesterday, everything that glitters ain't gold, and don't let the illusion of life fool you, because I too am in a situation where I'm homeless. You know, and I say homeless is a state of mind.
Yes.
So I choose to say I'm without a home,
right.
but I don't conduct myself like I'm homeless.
Right.
I'm without a home of my own,
right.
But I have a roof over my head. It's not the roof I want. It's not an ideal situation, but it's something better than nothing.
That's right. Right. You feel me? So, yeah, man. So I have this feeling, right? And I think Fabio said it on the Matt Hoffa. Yeah, he said it on the Matt Hoffa podcast, on his expert opinion, where he was like, hey, yo, listen, social media got kids that are winning thinking they're losing.
Yes.
Right? Because you never see the ugly side of social media, right? So you got these influencers, right? Where she's posting some shit, right? They don't know her boyfriend just choked the fuck out of her before she posted that picture of them holding hands and looking at a sunset in the Bahamas, right? So kids is like, oh, why don't I have that relationship where I'm going to the Bahamas? Listen, you might not want that relationship, to be honest with you, right? Because like you said, everything that glitters ain't gold, real.
And the grass ain't greener. You know what I'm saying? Stop worrying about everybody else's lawn and water your lawn. Because the grass that you water is going to be the greenest.
That's it.
I had to learn that, because I was in life trying to compete with everybody around me. Yeah. Little did I know that I'm only in competition with myself. As long as I create my own lane and stay in it, like, that's all that matters.
Word.
So that's my little piece of advice for the youth. Like, find what you're good at, find your niche, and don't let nobody dim your light or take your shine. Word. Smile and drink lots of water. Like, we are 89% water. Like, you know,
word. Talk to him.
That's why the social media women, they did all the brain cells and dried up. Drink some water.
Right. For real. Hydrate themselves. Yo, speaking of hydrating selves, so I ran by this video on TikTok, right? Where it's basically shots out to Liga. Liga's in the studio. Liga just walked in the studio. But yeah, so it was about distilling these top water brands, right? So do you drink smart water?
I don't drink none of that water, what they say it has like alkaline and electrolytes and all that. I drink regular Poland Springs mineral water.
All right, good. Because, and I'm gonna forward you the information after we get off air. But so basically, this guy, shout out to Hat's Truth, right? He did a home distillation, right? So he had some water that was already distilled. He had Evian water, he had smart water, and then he had regular tap water. So within minutes, right, of putting the distillator in these cups, they start to turn colors, right? Evian water, I'll start with that. It was clear at the bottom, but then it turned into like a milky copper looking with this copper sludge sitting at the top, which turns out, once he read the results, it turned out to be cadmium, copper, fluoride. Did I say mercury already?
Nope.
mercury, a bunch of shit, right? And that was one of the cleaner waters. Okay. Then smart water. That shit turned black like this.
Like a piece of coal.
Yo, what? I couldn't believe I was drinking that shit for years like that. Right?
Imagine what it's doing to your inside.
So listen, this is what he was saying is that and then tap water turned like purple almost. And what that was tested positive for was parasites, bacteria, fluoride, and a host of like inorganic matter, like fertilizer, all types of craziness, right? Oh, and microplastics. So what he was saying is that we can drink 1 million gallons of that shit, right? But once it gets into your bloodstream, because of all of the contaminants, it starts to clump. So you may think that you're getting 100% hydration. You might really only be getting 20% because most of it are solids and your cells can't absorb solids. Yeah. So I started looking into chelation therapy, which is how you detox heavy metals from out of your system, because I'm sure like we all have heavy metals, right? And I guess with the chelation process, they have over-the-counter stuff like drops you can put in your water. I've heard that adding a piece of copper to your drinking water, like copper itself, electrifies your water. So it gives you, I don't want to say electrolytes at the risk of sounding stupid, but it kind of sounds like it goes. So yeah, that was crazy.
Do your own info though. Do your own research. Don't quote us.
Right. Yes, discernment. Okay, do your own research. Okay, this is all for entertainment purposes only. Okay, nothing we say here should be considered as factual
right.
evidence. Right. Let's get that. Thank you.
We just don't have popping our ish, you know.
That's it. We here popping our shit, right? If that leads you down your own rabbit hole, I apologize. We are sorry right now, okay?
They be lost in Wonderland, wondering.
Yo, listen. Yo, do you think social media is fucking up the narrative that the government is trying to put out there?
I think that it's both helping and hindering. And I think that it's helping because those individuals that are conscious are using it, utilizing it for the tool that it was intended to be used as.
Right.
Those that are not are falling directly into the trap that they wanted them to fall into.
Right.
So at this point, it's like a 60-40. You know, I'm walking with the light, so you know I'm using it as a tool. I like you said, social media is for entertainment purposes. I take it with a grain of salt. You know, I don't look too much at what anyone else is doing. I just go on there for entertainment, and like I might post like uplifting post or something. But other than that, I know that what people are posting isn't what they're really going through. Like you were saying about the picture in the Bahamas, but like the beating that she took before that picture. You know?
Right. So yeah, man. Me personally, I feel like social media is fucking up the narrative, right? So like, remember last week when Instagram, Facebook, and it was Tuesday, right? Where Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, all of that shit was down. Do you know that ended up being during Big Tuesday? So like
the voting polls.
Yes.
Super Tuesday.
Yes, Super Tuesday.
Because they wanted people to actually go out and vote. That they know.
Yo, well, so so I actually didn't even think about it from that standpoint that they wanted people to go vote. Mm-hmm. But if you don't vote, your say don't count. So right. And with the Electoral College, like, you know, we need as many of us to vote as possible, right? To influence that Electoral College vote, right? So like my thoughts were, right, because we all know this dickhead Trump, right? He's definitely going to be on the ballot for the Republicans. That's without a doubt, right? They're trying to do anything they can to keep him off that ballot. And I thought that's why, is so that they can pull a shice move on him and say, nah, like, we counted the votes and this is what happened. And they didn't want people, right, at the polls putting pictures or putting fucking videos up on Facebook and Instagram, like, look, I just voted, and seeing 1 million people that turned out to vote for Trump, right? So when they say, oh, we counted the vote and Trump lost, Now, you know what I mean? We don't got no proof of it, right? Even though people weren't just smart enough to like just take their regular cameras out and shit. Shit was crazy. But yeah, man. So, oh, that's a fire. Oh, is that a? Yo, she got the portable charging bank that is wireless. That's lit. I can't stunt. That shit. Oh my God. And it's a magnet. Whoa. She's mind blown. That ass mind blown. Yeah, that was crazy. But yeah, man. So what's next on the agenda? What we got? So, do you watch any professional basketball?
I ain't gonna lie, nah.
Me neither. Don't even feel
I'm
bad.
big into sports. I don't watch it. I don't really understand it. The most thing that I knew was the Super Bowl. And I was like, shit, can I make some money? I don't know who's playing.
So, yo, I was scrolling over YouTube yesterday, and I guess there was a streaker at the Super Bowl. I didn't even watch the Super Bowl.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the reason why it was a streaker, right, is because it was in Vegas. So the guy said, yeah, I went downstairs and there was an actual bet on will there be or will there not be a streaker at this year's Super Bowl. So the man says, yeah, I put 20, I put 10K down and immediately headed to the bathroom.
Right. That's my type of guy.
You feel me? I'm like, yo, he's like, yeah, man, I made 20 bands.
Hell yeah.
On top of the 10 he put up. So I was like, oh shit, like that was a no-brainer, right? Shit, I wish I could have been at the Super Bowl. My meat would have been swaying.
Right.
Yo, Ma, I need you to wire me $7,000, please. This is a for sure thing. I promise you I'm gonna give it right back after I bail out. Like, yo, that shit was crazy. What else? Oh, okay. So there's this guy. He's a lawyer who does YouTube shorts, right? So people send him in videos and asks like, yo, is this legal?
Okay.
There was one, the lady, she's a landlord. You can see her on the Ring doorbell. She rings the doorbell. This is in like Britain somewhere. She's like, hi, KT. She's like, oh, hey. She's like, yeah, I was wondering, do you think you can move out by the end of this weekend? Because my friends are coming in town and they need a place to stay.
I think not.
I said, what? Is this even a real thing? She goes, yeah, well, this is my house. And I figured because my friends didn't have any place to go, it's my rules. She goes, no, bitch, I got tenant rights. Are you out of your fucking mind?
You can take me to court.
Right. And shit was hilarious, bro. Like, I seen some shit, but now I know some legal shit, right? That police can and can't do. So again, that brings me back to this whole social media shit. Like, yo, you got to discern the information that's useful from the information that's put out there to keep us blinded. So, yeah, do your own research, man. Have you been following up with this, blacks being the indigenous people to America?
Following up, what you mean? Put me on a little bit.
All right, so
a little background.
All right, so the theory is that blacks were already in this country when the Europeans got here and the Spaniards got here, right? And it does seem to make a lot of sense, right? So, a lot of people don't know is that North America has the highest concentration of pyramids on it, right? They've also found ancient Egyptian tombs in the Grand Canyon and Tibetan tombs, right? That predate when Columbus got here. Not only that, but Egyptians, and this is a fact, like not a conspiracy theory, right? Everything I just said up until now is like discern your own information. So what? Maybe other people in other countries also came up with the bright idea to build pyramids, right? Okay, cool. But ancient Egyptians, they were sailing long before Christopher Columbus was looking for land. So what they're basically trying to say is that ancient Egyptians, even though they had all this technological advances, right, that there was no way that they sailed and found other land. So basically, when Columbus gets to America, right? So let me ask you, right? So let me ask you a question, right? If All right, so we're in Worcester right now, right? If you were gonna sell weed, would you grow the weed? And Worcester already grew weed, right? Would you get weed from Worcester, or would you get on a boat, sail 6 to 9 months to go pick weed up and bring it back to Worcester, or would you just get the weed from Worcester?
Well, I mean, if I wanted to take the scenic route, but if I wanted to smoke, I'm gonna get what's readily available. I don't think I'm gonna wait 9 months.
Right. All right. So that's what they're saying is that basically, right? If the Indians, as they say in the books, were already here, why wouldn't they just enslave them? Right? Instead of going all the way to Africa on boats that we have yet to see, right? Put 30,000 people on them, knowing you're going to lose half of your stock because between May, you got your hurricane season and typhoon season. Atlantic is rough. And then you go all the way there, bring them back, right? Or would you just enslave the indigenous people? So the theory is that Africans were already here, right? Through exploration and stuff like that. And that this was New Egypt, or New Kemmet, rather. And a lot of archaeological developments are pointing towards this actually being true, right? Like George Washington put in his presidential minutes that he swore his whole cabinet to a oath by death that they would lie to the black people in America for 200 years. And that would be enough time for us to forget exactly who we were.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
The food, the songs, the dance, the tradition, the fabric of what makes us who we are.
Yeah.
Our culture, our traditions, and it to a certain point has worked, but what they didn't account for is good genes, and some of our ancestors making it until their 80s, 90s, and even 100 plus.
Right. And still spreading down that knowledge. Yeah.
Exactly. And if you had an elder in your family that's 80 plus, they didn't live through some things and they didn't see some things.
Right.
And they're going to be the first ones in the home, or to pass that knowledge and that wisdom down and say, hey baby, I did this and it didn't work. How you bypass that? Do it like this. And that's the one thing that they didn't account for, that you can't stop. You can take the father out the home. You can put the children in the child welfare system. You can get the mom hooked on drugs and in the streets and prostitution, this, that, and everything, the social media, everything that they've done has worked. But there's certain, what do you call it? The
aspects
like certain aspects of the plan that they didn't think all the way through, or like account for, like the variables. They didn't account for the variables.
Yeah, good, well stated. Yeah, I think that. Yeah. I definitely. Yeah. I fucks with you on that, D. Those vibes is real. Those vibes were real.
You already know.
Yes, sir. What else? Oh, so I got this weird story, right? I don't like telling people about this story because, like, it's just really, really weird. All right. So I grew up across the street from Winix Projects in Boston, right?
Okay.
And when I was growing up, the housing, the housing apartments that I was living in, right, the neighborhood that I lived in, they were renovating. So they were digging up a lot of land and repaving and digging up dirt. They had put in a new basketball court, et cetera, et cetera. So for like a whole 2 years, right, outside, and we come from the generation where we was outside playing, like it wasn't inside stuck on games on the phone all day. Right, yeah. You feel me? Looking for garter snakes and all types of craziness, right? So me and Anthony, we was outside and we were playing around this backhoe, right? It's this big machine that goes down and scoops up the dirt, transfer, whatever, right? So we're down there, we're playing, boom, and I see something glinting out of the ground, right? So it's gold. So I pick it up, boom, I'm looking at it, and I'm like, yo, Ant, right? And shout out to my man Anthony Rivera, bro. If you hear this podcast, leave a comment if you remember this happening, bro. So I'm looking at it and I asked Ant. Waldo was there too. Shout out to Waldo. So I'm like, hey, yo. And I think Joel might have been there, by the way, too. Shout out to all y'all, man. For real, man. I miss y'all niggas. But anyway, I'm like, yo, is this real gold? So, Anthony's like, no, it's not real gold. So in my head, I'm like, all right, my man said it ain't real, so it ain't real. So
all the confirmation you needed.
Right, that's all the confirmation I needed at the time. You feel me? So I go in the house and I remember I had it, and my mom is like, what's that? And I didn't really know, so I looked at it. Yeah, I kid you not. Yo, listen, I don't like. If I could say one hand to the Bible, I would, but that's not how I rock, right? I'm a man. I stand on my business. So like,
standing on business,
10 toes. So I look down and it looks like one of those ancient Egyptian mummies. Like it looks like it was about this big, D. I promise you, it was about that big. It was all gold, right? Probably about that thick. And I looked down and I showed my mom it. She's like, oh, and she handed it back. So I asked her, I said, is it real? She goes, no, but my brother was listening to the conversation. So when she walked away, he says, yo, you want to know how to know if it's real? I says, what? He goes, yo, scrape it on the sidewalk, right? If it's not real, it'll be silver underneath there, or it'll turn a different color. So the very next day, I was waiting for the bus at the bus stop, and I gets to scraping the fuck out that bitch. Right? Yo, listen, I might have scraped that shit down to a razor blade edge, right? Somebody's curb had a lot of gold on it, right? So it never changed colors. So immediately, right? As soon as I got out of school, I went to my mom. I said, Mom, yo, listen, wait, listen, that's how dumb I was as a kid, right? I said, Mom, look, it's real. She goes, let me see that. She looks at it. She looks at the back where I made the scrapes. She put that shit in a pocket, and I'm looking at her like, okay, well. She's like, yeah, don't worry about it. I'm going to put it somewhere safe for you. I ain't never seen that shit since.
I bet not.
But I say that to say this, right, is if you know, you know. Like, I found that when they were digging up around my neighborhood. This is in Boston, Massachusetts, way up north, right? I feel like, what if that had to do with this whole situation about ancient Egypt being in America well before anybody ever got here, right? Because, like, people are finding weird shit. And a lot of people, before this information came out, they were just thinking that it was just weird to find this type of shit. But it wasn't nothing that was a major, major find. Like, what if your boy could have been he could have been like Indiana Jones #2, but like as a kid, that shit would have been crazy. That shit would have been nuts. But yeah, so my mom definitely probably sold that shit. But yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say if you think about it, like the tribes, the Israelite, the tribes. If you think about it, like they were a nomadic people.
Right.
So they would travel with their herds or travel for to find new, like, the grass or whatever, like new water sources and stuff, new like
foraging
that.
places and shit like that. Yeah.
So it's like maybe they started in this side of the world and they ended up settling in what we know now Egypt, but then to be the city of Kemmet.
Right.
Maybe that's how they would have traveled through all these cities that are now cities and states. They would have traveled through all of this, using and leaving their marks because they were there. So leaving a little bit of their
influence or yeah. I agree.
And they settled in what's now modern day Egypt, and that's where we know that their source of origin to be. But what if it wasn't? What if they were in fact a nomadic people? That's where they chose to settle because it was the land with the most resources. And,
right? Yo, yeah. Yo, listen.
But I digress.
I know that's right.
You feel me? Oh man. But yeah, so before we go, let me hear about this podcast one more time because I want that to be fresh on the listeners' minds as we head out.
Okay, so my name is Deroa Owens, and it means divine unique knowledge reigns over all. Don't let it go over your head.
Hey.
But I go by Recovery Vybz. Vybz been real. So my podcast is called Recovery Rewritten, and it is a podcast that is open to the community, open to the public, looking for collaborations, about recovery, the breaking the stigma of substance use addiction, the mental health, the prison system, the child welfare system, basically anything in life, any experience that you've lived through and you want to talk about it. It's a platform to talk about it. It doesn't have to be recovery based. I just started it speaking on how my recovery got me to a place where I could articulate and have a conversation and talk about it, because I suffered in silence for a great many years, and I'm trying not to do that, not to walk backwards, but walk into the light forward. And I want to help anyone and everyone around me to have that same opportunity and experience. So yeah, Recovery Rewritten. There's 3 episodes on the Everyday Miracles Facebook page, so you could check that out. But yeah, we're gonna be bringing it back, revamping it. You know, we got some new equipment, got the studio set up. So yeah, we're gonna be doing some things. You know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I want to thank you for coming through and kicking it with your boy. Like I said, man, like you made a really big impact on me since hearing you talk yesterday. You know, I've been seeing you around for a minute, so I'm glad we finally got to sit down and chop it. You like minds getting it on.
You already know. Saying? I appreciate it. A quarter in a dream, you know what I'm saying?
That's it. That's it. Well, again, guys, thank you for tuning in. Also, if you're listening to the podcast, I want to let you know something. We've been running a March Madness giveaway, right? Where we're trying to get as many people following as possible. So what you're going to do is you're going to download Spotify. You're going to follow A Quarter in a Dream podcast, right? You're going to take a screenshot of you following the podcast and post it on the Facebook page, A Quarter in a Dream, or on a TikTok post, right? Just say, hey, this is for the giveaway, and at your handle. That'll enter you to win. On March 30th, a winner will be chosen at random for a $100 gift card. This is all factual, people. I stand on business. I don't talk cap. So again, if y'all want to enter to win that $100 gift card, all you got to do is show us that you're following the podcast on Spotify or wherever you get your podcast from. Apple Podcast, etc., etc. Drop that screenshot of you guys following the podcast on any of our social media pages, and that's it. You're done. You're entered. All right. You just sit back and wait for the bread. That's all you got to do. Okay. So at the end of the day, again, I want to thank everybody, all my loyal listeners that I've managed to accumulate thus far. I just want to let you guys know, reading the analytics, we're trending up, and that's only because of you. Not me, you. So I love you guys. Peace and blessings. Ashe, ashe.
Ashe. Remember, your higher power loves you, and so does Recovery Vibes.
Hey, and we are gone.
Swallow one.